Hello there, welcome to the Perfume Experience. Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to do a house series. It's been quite some time that we did a house series, and today I'm going to talk to you about an Indian brand that I've been testing out quite recently. And you kind of see this particular brand on Instagram, you see a lot of ads happening about it, and I'm talking about from the house of Balsaq. So this is an Indian brand, and we're going to talk about this particular house. I have a few fragrances of them. We will talk about these fragrances and a couple of others as well, and overall we'll make a decision whether it's a good house and should you invest your money in getting fragrances from this house, right? So stay tuned till the very end of this video to understand more about these fragrances from Indian houses, and let's get into the video. You're watching the Perfume Experience. My name is Rodney. Let's get started right after this intro. So welcome back, and we have 4 fragrances from the house of Balsaq. Now firstly, the name basically is inspired from balsamic vinegar. So Mr. Sajjad, the owner of this particular house, has a very big fondness towards balsamic vinegar for its tartness and the spiciness that it brings, and as a note he kind of likes that. So he was inspired from this note to create a name for his fragrances, and went about creating something very unique, and that's how the brand of Balsaq is created. So we have 4 fragrances. One is Mossy Water, okay, and then you would have seen me talk about this. This is Modern Woodsman, okay, and we have a couple of more fragrances as well. So we have Untamed Oud, and I have Ancient India, okay. So we're going to talk quickly about all of these fragrances and tell you what kind of scent profile do they carry. And let's first talk about the packaging. First of all, the packaging comes in boxes like this. This is a paper box which has got, like, for example, in this case, this is a fragrance that's got green coloring across, right? And it also kind of talks to you about the type of fragrance that is. Now when you think about Modern Woodsman, it's in blue in color, okay, and so every fragrance that they have got a color, okay, and like for example, this has got a brown colored skin tone, whereas this is got red, okay. So that kind of also tells you a little bit about the fragrance type. Now for example, this is got green vibes to it. So the fragrance name is called Mossy Water, and it's got green vibes to it, and that's why you kind of see this kind of a color option. So that's a nice thing to do. They've got something very rightly done. So for example, when you open up the box, you do find a little bit of a paper, crushed paper that's put in to soften the bottle from impact and all of that, which is a nice touch. Overall, the bottle kind of looks like this, which is also a pretty good touch. So what they've done is gone for a nice wooden cap, which has got this nice polished edge, and the fragrance name and the branding goes this way. These are 50 ml fragrances that you find from them. And let's talk about Mossy Water, okay. Now this is a freshie, okay, so this is definitely a freshie type of a fragrance. This has got a very spicy kind of an opening. You will find a lot of spice elements that you can immediately smell. It has got that aromatic, earthy kind of a vibe, very mossy kind of a vibe, green herbaceous type of a vibe as well. So pretty nice if you're especially liking fragrances which are slightly aquatic, slightly earthy in nature, but then you have a spicy kind of opening that you like, then this fragrance definitely is one for you, okay. Now from a notes point of view, let me tell you how this particular fragrance opens up. So it opens up with the spice elements, and then you would always find a little bit of that earthy vibe as well. Somewhere I do feel there's an aquatic vibe, but I wouldn't really be able to tell you that this is a marine type of a fragrance as such, but you do find some kind of an aquatic vibe as well. The other elements that you will definitely see is bamboo, clair sage, which are the top notes. Then you will have a little bit of a floral note on this particular fragrance in the heart note. In the dry down is where there is vetiver, there is amber, which gives that earthiness to this particular fragrance. And when you think about vetiver type of a fragrance, there is that bit of vetiver in this, which is very dominant. That earthy mossy vibe you definitely get from that. The spice element that comes from clair sage is definitely there. Now the bamboo part is not that very defined for me, at least I am not able to predict that very much, but yes, the spice elements definitely are there. The amber element, the vetiver is definitely there, and of course the green part of this particular fragrance is something to go by. So if you are looking to wear a summer fragrance, if you want a fragrance for office which has got that a little bit of a spicy element, a bit of aromatic lavender type of a vibe with a good earthy undertone to it, like vetiver, like amber, yes, then definitely this is a good one to keep, especially if you like mossy, oak moss based, or or let's say slight hint of white floral elements running in the background, then yes, definitely works very well. Now I will talk to you about performance of all of these fragrances, but from projection point of view, this one does project really well as well. So it does about 2 feet in my opinion, and that projection is there for about 45 minutes to 50 minutes time. After that, it kind of softens up and you feel more of that earthy vibe definitely there. So this is a nice one to keep or try. This is like mossy water, earthy, aquatic, not aquatic, I would say earthy, spicy, like a little fragrance that have this tea note kind of thing, that kind of a fragrance. This works very, very well. The next fragrance let's talk about is called Untamed Oud. Okay, now Untamed Oud is, from the name itself, you will kind of get an idea that yes, this is going to be a oud heavy fragrance, which is kind of the way it is. Now the brown part that you saw on the box is also an indication to tell you that there is a brown element which is a top note on this particular fragrance, which is basically leather and oud. That is the note on which this particular fragrance opens up. Now this is got a note of, when you think about the oud and leather, but then it also has got a little bit of a sweet kind of element as well. You also find a little bit of rosy kind of a vibe as well. Now this particular fragrance also has got vetiver, it's also got patchouli as well, so there is a little bit of that earthy vibe to that note, and that is what makes this particular fragrance very, very good. So along with this, there is also tobacco on this particular fragrance, so that there is tobacco, there is woody elements, there is patchouli, there is vetiver, there is oak moss. So the oak moss that you see in this is also passed on to this along with vetiver, but because the opening has got leather and oud, which has got a little bit of that dense, strong opening, okay, and not sweet, so it's got that beautiful hint of like a aromatic, slight spicy, oriental type of a spicy element. Of course, you can say that is the right word to use, oriental kind of a fragrance, which has got leather, which has got oud, a little bit of that vetiver, oak moss, and that kind of a vibe with a woody element. So it's a woody fragrance overall, but with a leather opening, very tart, very nice. This is pretty powerful as well. You will get more than 3 feet of projection on this, and these things last very, very good. So the projection in terms of feet is also 3 feet, and the first 45 minutes time you will get good projection on this one. So definitely a good fragrance to watch out for, especially if you like oriental type of fragrances. Then there is the red one, which is also another one to look out for. Now this is a fragrance that actually is called Ancient India. So it's more of a fragrance that leans towards South Indian heritage, South Indian culture kind of a scent profile. And the scent profile is also doing that same justice, because you do get openings of saffron, for example. You have a little bit of a rosy element again on this one, but this is more floral oriented, whereas Untamed Oud is more towards the leather and the oud part of it. Now Ancient India actually opens with, like I said, a lot of South Indian touch. So there is the element of cardamom, there is the element of saffron, which gives that rich kind of a feeling, that sweet opening as well. Then this has also got oud, this has also got tobacco as well. Then in the dry down is where there's a lot of woody elements on this particular fragrance. So there is sandalwood, there is musk, there is vetiver, and then there is leather also. In the heart note of this particular fragrance, there is oud as well. So there is a lot of woody elements, there is also a leather element. So they have used vetiver across in these 3 fragrances. So there is that earthy note that you always get reminiscent of that vetiver note. Overall, I would say this is a very, very good touch of a fragrance. In fact, this works very well, especially if you're looking for wearing for weddings and all of that. And I will tell you that you should club this with one of the others they have called as rose musk. So if you do, like say 6 sprays of this, you should take a few dabs of that and mix it up and layer it up. It actually opens very, very well. We'll talk about those others as well. But Ancient India is a very nice fragrance if you're looking for a sweet kind of a fragrance with the saffron opening, a sandalwood woody element, and then of course a little bit of leather, oud, and of course a vetiver based element as well. So overall, very nicely done kind of a fragrance. Now the best one is saved for the last, and that is called Modern Woodsman. Okay, now this I absolutely enjoyed, because this, of the 4 fragrances that I tried, this has to be my personal favorite among all of that, because when I first tried this fragrance, this is more of love at first sight. Now, this for me is one of those fragrances where there is no wood, there is no leather. It's a fragrance that opens with oriental spices and then has definitely got a lot of woody elements. This also has a bit of vetiver, but then the prominent note on this particular fragrance is more towards cardamom, is more towards saffron, that kind of a note profile. Now, this has got cinnamon, nutmeg, grapefruit, along with that woody elements as well. So it's got that type of a sweet kind of an opening, but very masculine, very dense. And let's do a couple of sprays. So this is one very uniquely, beautifully done fragrance where there is this lovely sweet element of the cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom coming together to give you that oriental type of a spicy opening. Then there is a good amount of woody vibes to it, and immediately it kind of puts you a smile, puts a nice smile across your face, because you absolutely enjoy this particular fragrance. You like that scent profile so much because this has also got lavender on it, and the lavender is kind of done in a very beautiful way. Now, in the dry down, along with the musk, amber, patchouli, vetiver, oak moss, this particular fragrance gives you that woody vibe. So after some time, the oriental sweetness kind of slows down and the woody elements kind of come up and gives you a fantastic fragrance, performance. This, in my opinion, does more than 3 feet plus of projection easy and lasts for 1.5 hours in terms of first projection. Now, coming to the performance of these fragrances, this is the best that I thought works really well. Works to more than 6 to 8 hours on skin, 8 plus 10 plus hours on apparel easily. In fact, this is one of those fragrances, if you do keep it in your room, every time you walk by it, you will sniff this particular fragrance. It is that good. Now, all of them, all the 4 fragrances are actually very good performance. Okay, now that is something that you need to know. They're very good performance, though I would say the mossy, was probably the lowest in terms of performance that I would get, about 5-6 hours time. The highest was definitely Woodsman that I've had on my apparel for next day, even after that also. So very long lasting fragrances. The Untamed Oud and Ancient India are also very good. You will get about 6 to 8 hours on skin, and apparel it can go up to 10 hours plus as well. Now, it kind of also depends on the weather, the conditions that you're in as well, but mostly these are definitely long lasting fragrances. Now, there would be a question on your mind. So the question would be, are these alternates of any popular fragrances? The answer is no, because I don't say them as direct clones of any fragrances as such, but you will find some DNA that is inspired from other fragrances, or brought about by bringing 2 or 3 different fragrances together as such. Like, for example, for me, modern Woodsman does give me a feeler of like Sauvage Elixir or Hugo Boss Elixir coming together, and then if they had a blend together, then that would be the kind of fragrance that this will remember you by. So that's a good reference point to think about, Sauvage Elixir or Hugo Boss Elixir. Both these notes coming together because they have a similar type of a DNA. Now, Untamed Oud is your typical Middle Eastern type of a leather fragrance, oud fragrance with the that similar signature DNA. That's perfectly fine. And Ancient India has got a very dominant saffron rose, woody element, oud type of a fragrance. So saffron rose oud combo, that kind of a fragrance, or a saffron and oud kind of a combo is something that you can think about it as a reference point. And Moxie Waters is more of a spicy fougere type of a fragrance. Think about any of these aquatic or the fresh fragrances that I've got, marine fougere type of vibe, that kind of a vibe. So they are not alternates of or clones of any popular fragrances, but their DNA is definitely inspired from very good structures. So you kind of get a very unique combination as such. So that was about the fragrances. Now let's talk about the fragrance oils or the athars. They come in these kind of wooden boxes, which is a very good job done. So very nice wooden box that you kind of see, and when you open this up, you are presented with the same crushed paper, which is very good. It gives kind of makes you feel very premium as such, and you will find the athars placed this way. Very good touch. They also come with these so they come with dipsticks by default, but they also give you this roll-on in case you're interested in switching it across, right? Now, with these fragrances, I'll tell you quickly about how these are. So rose musk is definitely a rosy type of a fragrance, which has got a mild rose element and a nice softer version of musk. Okay, so this is very soft in my nature, but it smells very nice, sweet type of a rose fragrance. Especially if you like rose oud combo of a fragrance, then I say rose musk will go very well with Ancient India. Okay, this is a fantastic layering combo that you should look at doing. You really get best of both worlds, you can say. The attar actually works very well, does a lot of projection, and because it is soft in nature but it lasts long, this was on my apparel for the next day as well, so you will get some 8-10 hours of performance, very good. Now the Attar Bakur is got a very earthy vibe. Now I do feel that this particular house likes to get vetiver in a lot of these fragrances. There is that earthy vibe that you get in most of their concoction. So this also has got this, but this smells absolutely divine. This is that got that incensey, rose, oud kind of a earthy kind of a vibe. Fantastic fragrance to try out as well. Then there are two other ones, which is this is white musk, okay, and this is called Sundarban. Now the ouds have got a really strong profile to it, in the sense to say, first of all, just look at the presentation. They have done it really nice sticker, and good juice quality, and of course you have the dipstick. Now one of the things that I've noticed in their fragrances, they have a really strong thick resinous vibe. Okay, so when you apply the attar, they are really heavy on the oil concentration, so to say, because they're pretty thick, and when you do give them a rub, you kind of still be able to smell it, and it's pretty nice. So this has got a scent profile which is smoky, oud, and then fruity, a little bit of animalic type of a vibe, like the jungles of India, Sundarbans, right? So that's where it's kind of got that inspiration from that type of a oud profile, is what I think, which is your typical Assam oud is the type of the scent profile that they've gone for. Then when you think about fragrance like musk, okay, so this is white musk. Now when you think about this also, just look at the quality, okay, so you will kind of notice that it's pretty thick. So I have noticed there are some brands which make oud or fragrance oil, they are lighter, so when you apply it, it doesn't feel that heavy, but these definitely are very heavy, very thick as well. So this is a typical white musk kind of a scent profile, so a little bit of rosy, musky, that kind of a profile, but the Sundarban is very nice as such. Now, in terms of scent profiles of the attars, there are 4, like I said, and my personal favorite has to be the Attar Bakur. This is really nice, and you can also try Sundarbans if you like strong fragrances. Okay, Sundarban and Attar Bakur are very strong, quite a popular type of a fragrance, very robust, high performing types. And the other two, so the white musk and the rose musk, is more of a soft profile, softer fragrances if you like rose and oud type of a combo. So the rose musk has got more of rose and oud. The white musk has got a little bit of a muskier, softer profile, but a light element of floral element. So the white musk, like I said, has got the same soft, soapy, little bit of ambery, light floral type of a vibe. So especially very nice if you look for soft profiles, especially in the evenings. You can definitely try them. And from a pricing point of view, their fragrances kind of start off from 999 rupees, and the others are about, I think, 600 rupees roughly. So 999 onwards is what you will kind of find. So for that price point, I definitely think they are good value for money and are definitely a good house to check out. They do come with, they have a lot of sample sets as well. So they do have this kind of sample set that they will provide. So you can definitely check out. So the website that you need to look at is balsaq.in, and you can, I think you do have some offers on prepaid offers as well. So they do have discovery sets for their attars and fragrances as well, so you can definitely try. So what I feel are some good things that they've done is, of course, the presentations. Okay, the overall presentation, the scent quality of the fragrances, the bottle presentation, the performance is very nice. Second is they feel slightly unique because they are not alternates of popular fragrances like many houses do. They are actually good, well thought of DNAs brought together to give you some very exotic type of a fragrance. So they have done that well, and performance is good, scent quality is good. The others too are definitely good. Like I like the stronger element, the darker ones are definitely my cup of tea in here. The softer profiles are nice, but then these are definitely my favorite. So if I had to pick two, so one my most favorite fragrance and one fragrance oil, then it is pretty easy for me to do that, because the most compliments that I've got is from Modern Woodsman, and then you can definitely try Bakur, Attar Bakur, which is absolutely wonderful. So check out the website of balsaq.in and try these fragrances, and let me know which other Indian house you would like me to try and explore, and I'll come back to you on another video. Until another time, take care. Bye bye.